Remind you of all the operations that could surprise us here. So, for example, the first one that we always perform is the operation in parentheses. This is how the parentheses look like. There can be any of the operations that we have already mentioned inside the parentheses. Then there is exponentiation and roots. So, for example, records that look like this or that look like this. Then there is multiplication and division. And interestingly, multiplication and division, due to the fact that they are equivalent or even the same task, the same operation, is performed in order from left to right. You have to remember that if the multiplication occurs first, then we have to do it first. If the division occurs first, then we have to do the division first. And there is addition and subtraction. Addition and subtraction are commutative, and we can perform them in any order. We can add the first and last result. Subtract the third, subtract the fifth. In any case, addition and subtraction can be performed in any order, and these are all the operations. As you can see, we do not have here either roots or exponentiation. We also do not have addition and subtraction. And it might seem that we do not have brackets either. But you will see here later that there were brackets. Let's deal with what could go wrong in this task. Let's imagine that we will treat the fraction line as division and write this operation in this way. Yes, then 2 times 4. Notice that this is almost the same, only we change the fraction line to division. And by performing it in this order, we will get some result. We can trace it. This is like this 4/16 is 1/4. 1/4 under 2 is 1/8. And 1/8 multiplied 4 is 1/2, and the operation performed in this way will unfortunately be a bad result. I warn you right away that this is an error. Why did I mention earlier that there are brackets here? Well, if we have such a record as here we have it written as a fraction. And a fraction consists of a numerator and a denominator. So, for example, if we had a fraction 2/4, we could perform this operation in such a way that we would reduce it and we would get 1/2. That is divided by 2/4 gives us 1/2 if we had the opposite situation. The result would simply be equal to 2 because 4 under 2 is 2. So pay attention to how important the order of this division is in a fraction. This is one thing. However, here we have an operation in the numerator, and in the denominator we also have an operation. So we have to perform them in such an order that first we will calculate what the numerator of this fraction is. And then we will calculate what the denominator of this fraction is. And only then we will perform the division. Only then will we divide the numerator by the denominator. So let's simplify this upper expression. I previously calculated what 4 is divided by 16. Maybe you remember, but I will show you this also written as a fraction to make it easier to calculate. We can reduce such a fraction by 4. And it comes out to 1 in the numerator and 4 in the denominator. This is 1/4. From the multiplication table, we know what 2 multiplied by 4 is. Here on the side we will write that. It is 8. We can now write down a simplified version of this fraction. This is 1/4 divided by 8. Now pay attention to the fact that this is the main division. This main fraction line that was here earlier in my example is slightly longer. When I have a 2-story fraction, I try to keep the division into the numerator and the denominator. So, in my case, there is 1/4 in the numerator, which is visible because this 1/4 has a shorter fraction line. Now, in this case, I can write down this operation in this way: 1/4 divided by 8. And this is definitely the correct result. That is the correct notation because 1/4 in my numerator is the dividend, and the 8 in the denominator is the divisor. And if I want to perform this operation now, first of all, I could enter it on the calculator. And it would be 1 divided 4 divide 8. Or write down the division like multiplication, that is, 1/4 multiplied 1/8. This is a trick that if we write the division as multiplication, we can turn this number upside down and multiply it with the original one. If you look closely, 1/4 multiplied 1/8, it is simply 1/32. This is the correct result. If any of you got such a result, congratulations on this result. If you have any questions about this task or the order of operations, write in the comments. If you like this video, leave a like. This is very important for my channel. If you want more such tasks, subscribe. And of course, I encourage you to support the channel. Until the next video, take care.